Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Confessions of a Gamer Girl podcast. I'm your host, Doom Cutie, and it's the trio today. Welcome in, Ellie.
Hello, thank you once again for having me. You can't get rid of me.
I was going to say, I think having you was optional. I thought you were just like part of the package.
It's like thanks, but deal with it.
Thanks, but deal with it. I did try to get rid of her once, and yeah, that ended badly.
Succeed. Is she like, what's that scary doll that like you chuck it out and it comes back just like in your living room? And you're like, oh well, I'm gonna die now. Is it like
Annabelle.
that? Annabelle, hey,
AKA Ellie.
Man, we can only aspire. Goals.
Oh, and Shay, welcome back again. As always, the radiance that beams from you is incomparable. What can I say?
That's a really lovely way that Doom has to say, like, you've off-railed already, and we've only just hit 2 minutes in. What the hell?
Yes. I believe that could be a record. There you go. Welcome into the chat as well. We've got some familiar faces in here, so welcome. Another week in gaming. We love to see it. Shay, what have you been playing, babe? What have you been up to?
Oh, I have been... Oh my god. Okay, so you know how sometimes you start a new game, right? And then all of a sudden nothing else in this entire world matters to you?
Yes.
I believe it's called hyperfixations.
I don't want to say it, but yes. So I was provided a key by Keymailer for V Rising. And I am unwillingly not playing that every second of the day, okay? All I want to do is go and be in my fun little vampire game where I get to do a scurry from shade to shade. So that's already peak shade. I already legitimately do that in summer. It's not a joke.
Valid.
Scurry. Find a little dumb human. Yum, yum, yum. The humans are kind of gross. Like, honestly, they're not very, they're low quality, okay? It's like a wine. It's like a bad wine. But then you find a moose and, oh my god, your day is set. And then you beat shit up and build a castle, and it's just, oh my god, please, I want to get back and play now.
So what you're saying is, Shay didn't choose the vampire life. The vampire life chose Shay.
I mean, have you seen this complexion? I am a washed potato. Like, is there a better candidate? I'm not going to miss the sun. I've never seen it. It's fine.
Totally. Well, you've been enjoying that, and I'm glad you found some kindred spirits.
But then on the flip side, just to make it really nice and confusing, I also finally finished a game, Little Kitty Big City, which I played on TikTok. I've now expanded to streaming on TikTok, and that game is so cute. Oh my god.
Okay. Okay. So, sorry, Ellie. I'm going to go to me. So
you've been playing as well?
I have been playing. Little Kitty Big City is on Game Pass.
Yeah,
Game Pass. We'd love to see it. Also PC Game Pass. And I'm in the process of actually writing how this game made me fall in love with cats. Because
and you can knock people over.
Yeah, Spoilers, Shay.
Man, I did that in the first 3 seconds. I was right there. I was like, give me a phone, give me a sandwich, get knocked over. Done.
There is a lot to love about that game. So definitely, if you're listening in the chat, you better be downloading it right now because it is so fun. It's got collectibles, it's got mayhem, it's got cuteness.
It's got shinies, and you can barter with crows, and you can like catch and release birds. So like you don't hurt anything. You grab a feather. So like for anybody who's a bit worried there about like, oh, but cats eat shit. This cat's a house cat. It has no idea that it can eat a bird. It just knows it wants to catch them, and then afterwards it's like, have fun.
Yes, the house cat is meeting all of the cats that are street cats. So
and it's so pretty.
It is.
Oh my goodness.
The colors are certainly a vibe. So yeah, if
if that helps anyone.
Ellie, we're recommending you play this so we can talk about it next week.
Yes. Isn't it funny how you're recommending like a sweet little cozy, I assume cozy, meow meow game. And I've been in the world of horror games actually. So maybe I'll think about it. I did quite enjoy Stray, and I'm not saying that there's any similarity apart from the fact that you play
There's
cat.
actually a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Like in the jump mechanics and stuff like that, like there is a nice overlap in a positive way.
Well, there's only so many ways you can make a cat leap without it, crossing over with another game. Like a cat is cat. It's kind of how they jump. But no, I totally get that. That sounds like fun. Maybe I'll have to venture in. It's funny that you mentioned games that make you think all about them all the time, Shay, because I don't really venture into like new games heaps because who's got the time, but also you kind of just stick to the franchises that you love, so you don't really go outside of that. So even though like I started Resident Evil 4, I've played other Resident Evil, so it's not really like super new. I decided to go outside of my comfort zone and go more of the VR route over the past week. So I borrowed the PSVR 2 off a friend, and I downloaded Switchback. And so for those who don't know, Switchback is it's not roller coaster. It's just like a train sort game where you're in the carriage, and it's a bit of a shooter. And it's horror because Switchback is actually you go through the different games of the Dark Pictures anthology. And that's like my favorite set of games. I absolutely love them. They're the choice making games. Dark Pictures. So, oh my gosh, geeking out when I would see scenes or items or anything to do with the games that I absolutely love. I was literally sitting there in VR being like, I am so scared shitless right now and I love it. And I would turn around. And I would just see the back of the coaster, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so scared. I was just having the best time. And me and my friend made gaming cocktails. We made cocktails related to our favorite games, and we had a VR day, and it was so much fun. And so
cute.
I played it at like midnight by myself once like he had left and I had the house to myself, and it was the scariest game of all of them, House of Ashes. And I was genuinely like, I have to remember I'm in my living room, the light is on, I am in my living room, because it was that freaky. But anyway, absolutely fantastic, super fun. So that's been my new game.
That sounds pretty good. Like
that sounds like a worst nightmare.
It's not for you, Doom. It's not for you. But I thought I would be more motion sick than I was because I tried playing Half-Life Alyx with the Oculus, and that was not my friend. I think I lasted less than 10 minutes on that, so I didn't even get close to finishing the game. But I don't know if it's either a bit different with the PSVR, just because maybe it looks a bit different, or the fact that I was seated and you can look around, but the weapons were so easy to just bang, 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 and you shake it a little bit to reload, bang, bang, bang. Like it was really simple. You didn't have to like look down, fiddle with anything. So the mechanics were really, really fantastic, actually. So yeah.
Different design honestly lends itself to different levels of motion sickness for VR. So there's a chance that this particular game, because you were sitting, might have agreed with you a little bit better. But it could also be the different headset. It can also be the speed in which you are essentially like moving and refreshing in game and stuff like that. It really contributes to just overall experience.
Yeah, totally. And it was just fun because, the fun lasted a bit longer, whereas normally you only get to play in bit by bit. That paired with some gaming cocktails, it was absolutely fantastic.
Vomits in VR.
That maybe not that far, but Dolphin is right. They Supermassive Games is doing a collab with Dead by Daylight, and I also love Dead by Daylight. So there's nothing cooler when you're like games collide that you absolutely love. So I think it's going to be that, and Until Dawn re-releasing at some point this year. It's going to be a good year for me and my spooky gals. Doom Cutie, that's your mission for this year, is to play Until Dawn, because that's the easiest horror game, because you just press A or B. You don't really have to aim. You don't really have to run. Like
there's like some quick time
out
events,
of two choices. You just pick, and you'd be fine with the quick time events considering you are a video game enjoyer thing.
You are a
big
story
based.
It's a fantastic story. Like it's genuinely so interesting.
Characters are beautiful. Beautiful. The story is fantastic. The environment is amazing.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. Even if you wanted to like play it before the remake, because obviously that would be a bit more expensive, a bit more involved. Give it a go. Like just maybe come back at Christmas and tell me you played it at some point. Because it's my all-time favorite game. And eventually we'll get the remake at some point this year. They haven't given us a date, which
it just says 2024.
Yeah.
That's a big lot of time.
It's very specific.
Come on, release it. Release it.
But yeah, can vouch for this one as well. It was fascinating. It was so interesting.
Yeah. I will take that under consideration. Thank you. I think my heart rate increased by about 30. Just hearing about that. Amazing. I'm so glad that like this is actually one of the things that I love about gaming is that there's just something for everyone.
Yeah,
for sure,
and some crossover too, which is always fantastic.
Yeah, let's I don't know, haunted Stardew Valley horror.
You joke, but there's a mod.
What?
There is always a mod.
There's always a mod. So there's actually two. There's one that turns it into like everything spooky, which is just gorgeous. We love that. But there's another one that actually makes the whole of Stardew Valley a murder mystery. And you have to go around and find all the places where they've died and all that kind of thing. And it's actually like really, really fun looking. I would play a game like that.
That's really, that's really cool.
I was thinking more a bit more like spooky, a little bit more like completely ratchet, like pixelated horror, first person, you're farming and like, the scarecrow comes alive and just starts hacking at you.
There is a game like that. It was actually developed by a singular dev. It's on itch.io and it's called, I think it's like Haunted Farm or something like that. I'm not going to spoil it because I don't want to tell you all the stuff, but you legitimately are shitting yourself the entire game you start. You're like, it's just a silly little 2D farm game. It's going to be great. No.
2D.
No. No. Okay? Oh. I wish you the best of luck surviving. Thank you.
God. That's a lot of caca for a whole
The
lot
evil
of game.
farming game.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Let me see if I can find it for you because, like, it was unexpected.
Yeah, I mean,
like horror farming game.
But like, look, in fairness, if you think of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like that is like quintessentially, like a, pretty iconic horror story, and it is set place on a farm. So
that's fair. Well, I mean, to be fair, right? In real life, farms are scary. They're huge. They have a bunch of dangerous equipment. They've got like rando shadows and stuff, and then like animals prowling around because they want to get food. Like they're actually scary places. They're just not.
Yeah, and they have weapons, and they just leave them.
They just leave axes everywhere,
knives. Like it's just the worst nightmare. Okay, it's just awful.
I'll chuck you a link because it's called Pumpkin Panic.
Oh, Pumpkin Panic.
Yeah,
not at the disco.
It has cute alliteration as well. Oh, yeah. Please.
And it looks cute. Like you don't expect it. It does.
That's just a trap.
Oh no, it is.
It's a catfish.
I love that. I love when things look really cute, and then you get in. It's like, oh, it's horrendous. Yay!
A bit like you then.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
I'm kidding. Oh, okay. Yeah, Pumpkin Panic. Yes. Incredible. Yeah, no, I have seen farming machinery as I live in a rural town, a country town. There is a lot of farms. People most definitely cut up their own pigs, and they have
to have it. And the worst bit is knowing full well that is built to cut through things that
cut through flesh.
The same equivalent denseness as you. Like it would have no trouble. It doesn't care that you're a human. It's a machine, and it just knows it has to cut.
Oh dear.
So IRL farms kind of scary. Stardew Valley though, I don't know. I just have some carrots and it's a bit nice, I guess.
All right. Speaking of IRL scary situations, I don't think there's anything more scary than if you have never been to an IRL catch-up with gamers that you've only known online. And a little birdie named Shay told me that Shay went to a meetup today, and we want to hear about it. Let's talk.
Yeah, no, so today, literally just before this podcast, I had to leave the event to come and do this podcast. I went to the Twitch Brisbane meetup that actually partnered with an esports event. So this was really, really cool. They had prizes and everything. You know, if you won enough games and stuff like that, you're getting a new keyboard set up, all this good stuff. It was cool. Like, they're wanting to, I spoke to the organizer, and he's wanting to do it monthly. So he's wanting to do it monthly in the same spot just so that people are able to actually attend and stuff like that. The trouble we're finding with the Brisbane meetup is that it's usually not advertised well enough, so a lot of people miss it, or there's not enough notice, so people have work. But we all do want to meet up. And honestly, the most I see other Brisbane creators is in Melbourne when we have DreamHack Impacts. So it'd be really cool if I could like actually see those people in my state. Could be really fun. But yeah, popped in tonight, free drink on entry. Got to chill. I did get a bit cranky, and this doesn't usually happen because like I'm a pretty chill person. I'm a big goof, absolutely, but I'm pretty chill overall. But we walk in, and then there's three of us. There's myself, my partner, who is traditionally masculine. He, him, like big dude. He's a guy, and then my friend Britt down the end. And we walk in, and it's an esport event, and the first thing they do is only talk to Rico about it. Just straight up, they go, "Oh, hi." Like physical body turn, complete shift in focus, straight to Rico. And I try so hard not to get cranky at this stuff because it happens a lot. You know, we go into EB games or anything like that, and like half the time we're there for me.
You lost?
I wanna, yeah. Hey,
can I direct My Little Pony, please?
Yeah, like, oh, what does your partner need? Or like, oh, hey, mate, what do you need? And Rico's like, oh, actually, Shay, my partner needs something. And I'm sitting there going like, senior lecturer in games. Published a paper in games, literally doing my master's where I'm going to publish another paper in games. I am a streamer. I am a co-host on a podcast now. I cannot be more involved in gaming culture if I freaking tried.
Oh, yeah.
No, you could, though. You could look like a man.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you would be an esports gamer.
Yeah, so that was a bit sucky. So we pop in and everything, and we play some of the games, and I'm like, cool. And then the Twitch stuff comes in, and the gentleman sets up and stuff like that. We pop on our name tags, and the guy goes, "Oh, you're part of Twitch." Oh, like that made it make sense that I was there. And it's like, what if I just like games? There was another lady too. Yeah. Like she was chilling, she was just gaming. She wasn't a streamer or anything. She was just a lady. So I'm hoping that we see less of that because I try not to be cranky, but
no, you're well within your rights though, because did they seem young as well? Did they appear young?
I would say in their 20s, yeah.
Which is equally concerning because you could just put it down to, you know, they're young, they don't really understand how the world works. But we cease to forget that they're coming up in what the now culture is. As young people, especially early 20s, they're absorbing what is the main culture of a sort of topic, so gaming. So you could argue that that's even more terrifying than an older person treating you that same way because they're learning what's new, what's in the now. And if that's the kind of culture, and of course, you know, people are going to be their own people. If that's how they lead the rest of their life, they quite, you know, direct things gender focused, then that's their upbringing, that's them. But it's still not appropriate when everyone and their mother can video game today. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter your gender. Like nothing. Yeah. Everyone loves video games. And for all they know, of course, you could have been a noob. But why else would you be at an esports event other than to learn? So, you know, it should be directed at everyone.
It's assumed I'm just there to like support. Like my boyfriend's dragged me in or I'm just supporting him. And it's like, no, I want to be here. I like this stuff. Like,
you dragged your boyfriend there.
I don't have to drag him at all. I'm like EB games or like gaming things. He's like, oh my god, yes. And we're both scurrying in there like the little gremlins we are. So like, I never faced that from him. That's fantastic. I never have, which is part of the reason he's gotten to the, you know, status that he has as my partner. But I guess, yeah, I hadn't really thought about it until like literally the second, but it really upset me. And I was really hoping we were past just that, because like, man, I don't care what I look like, okay? I don't care if I look like Cousin It. I like gaming. My gender is irrelevant. My appearance is irrelevant. Piss off and let me have some fun. And talk to me about it. Like, don't keep me out of fun.
Yeah. I want to add on to that as well, that there are a lot of professionals in the business side of esports that could potentially be scouting. They could be working with brands. They could be working with creators. They could be there in a professional capacity. That could be anyone. They could look like anything. They don't have to look a particular way. So I dare say that, if you are kind of newer to the scene and kind of, I guess, want to remove it's about gender. It's actually not. People's status in the community is not necessarily what the outside looks like. This is a creative space. Everyone looks very different. I would recommend that everyone treat everyone with equality in mind, in the sense that just because they're here doesn't mean they were dragged here. They could be a myriad of things that they could be doing.
And I walked in like really excited too. I was like visibly excited to be there. I'm walking in like, oh my god, we're gonna get to play games. Yeah, we're gonna get to see some of the people. So yeah, but then eventually I did get to use it to my advantage, in that he wouldn't stop talking to my partner, and I was bored with the conversation, especially because I was cranky. So I just went over and talked to people I knew. So I was like, oh, you know what? I don't have to be here. Just went and found some other streamers that I know and got to hang out with them. That bit was lovely. So yeah, getting to catch up with some of the people I met at DreamHack, really, really love that. And I'm just hoping that, the more we go, I hope people recognize that you don't have to look a certain way to be a certain thing. It doesn't work like that. It never has, and it really, really doesn't now.
Yeah. No, you're amen, sister.
Oh my god, it's like a whole podcast about this, so it's wild.
Oh my god, it's like a thing. I do wonder, and this is probably moving into the kind of thing that I wanted to talk about today. And did anyone mention the latest community drama going on in the social media?
No, see, we were still there when everything was still quite light. You know how you start an event and everyone's very awkward, and no one wants to talk to each other because we're all bloody nerds. We were still there at that point. Oh yeah, we know. Okay, we know. But no, we were still there during the light thing, when they were like doing the initial interviews and like taking photos and all that kind of thing before people get either sweaty or sloshed. So no, but also no one really wanted to talk to me. Unfortunately, I go to these events and I don't think I'm very approachable, probably because of how I look. So yeah.
Whoa, no. What? What do you mean?
I was called an attractive woman this evening. Now, we all have our own thoughts on our appearances. For me personally, I've never really been confident or fond of mine, but I have noticed an increasing amount of people dubbing me as an attractive female, which is lovely. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It does the little fuzzies inside. But I realized I'm already going in with people having the assumption that I don't game. They have no idea what kind of streaming I do. If I'm attractive, that's going to be another element of discomfort for people. So I kind of picked up on why people don't really talk to me unless I talk to them first.
All right.
A blessing and a curse, my girl. A blessing and a curse.
I just want to be a goof.
Oh, well, you know what? That's why you're here. You can be a goof all you like, darling.
Talk about cheese.
You got permission. You got permission there, Shay.
Yes! Derail!
No, definitely not. Shay, yes, you are beautiful, and the reason why I say you're beautiful is because it's not because you got red lipstick on, it's not because you got blonde hair. It is simply because your happiness, your vibe exudes out of you. You radiate that energy, and you are a positive being in this community. And some people don't know how to handle that, and that is not your fault. Okay.
That's
and yes, it might seem like a barrier to developing relationships, or to kind of go up to people and talk to them, I guess, or people to come up to you. But like, honestly, Shay, I think we all have these moments where we don't feel good enough, or we don't feel worthy to be in these communities sometimes, especially when, we move from online to IRL. So Shay, you do you, boo. And if anyone out there is feeling this way, please don't let it stop you. And you know what? If you see me, if you see Ellie, if you see Shay at one of these events, holla at your girl, because we'll come in there and we'll give you a big hug. I won't do that, but Shay will. I don't know about Ellie. Maybe, and you'll be able to spot Ellie from a mile away because she's like 6 foot tall. So
it is true. I am.
She's our beacon of
Amazonian
happiness.
goddess.
Yes,
most definitely. And I know that all of us try and be, positive, bring positivity to the gaming community. That's why we're here. That's why we're on this podcast. We're femme and we're positive, and that's why we get along. And unfortunately, I felt compelled to comment on this particular drama that's gone on in the streaming community. Shay, you're a streamer. Ellie, you're a streamer. Doom Cutie sometimes is a streamer.
Doom has been on camera before. She's done things.
I have been on streams, and Doom Cutie have at once been one thing. Anyway, and if you're not familiar with it, Taylor Morgan is a streamer. Yes, this is a stream. I know it's a stream. Thank you, Dolphin. Thank you. That's why I still get invited to all these things, like the events and stuff. Even though I don't have like a streaming schedule outside of this. So Taylor Morgan was playing Valorant, I believe, on one of her streams. Valorant, it's got a lot of sweaty players. I don't know.
Got to get the shooty pew pew.
Of course. Anyway, she has called for Riot Games to pick up their act when it comes to the protection of people in their community. And specifically, there were some incredibly horrid, despicable things spoken to this particular streamer. Now, she has inserted a clip on her Twitter. I'm not going to put it out there because I just don't want to continue to see it, to be honest. But I felt compelled to talk about this because this person experienced probably one of the most horrendous slurs that you could receive. Now, I have spoken about it. People on my social media, my mutuals have spoken about it, about the treatment of women. I posted a clip from my my chat at DreamHack, my panel, Control and Empower, navigating the gaming matrix as a woman in gaming. And basically, every single woman on that panel have experienced incredible discrimination, incredibly horrid DMs, public messages, comments across our content. We've been targeted before. And I dare say, Shay and Ellie, you've had times where people have said not nice things to you.
I mean, everyone has a story. I think that's the bottom line. Every woman has a story. And I think that sentence is so powerful and disgusting, but true. Genuinely, it's true. Every bloody woman has a story. And it's enough.
To the point where it's normalized. Like, that's the point. Like, that's the problem, right? Because people will put up these videos and they're horrendous. But the trouble is, it's not new. And that's shocking. It should never be something that's so commonplace that we're like, oh, yeah, okay, that's pretty standard.
I think we are very desensitized with the amount of social media that we are presented with every day. the access to people's lives just feels closer than ever, and I think that prevents people from separating like online and real life, because sometimes streamers are streaming for 24, 48 hours. You're seeing them do a lot of things, and parasocial relationships develop because of this, and that's a whole other kettle of fish. But this particular, I had to go back and do some research, and now I'm not saying that what happened to this streamer was the right thing. It was horrendous. Okay, no one should have to experience or hear this kind of language. However, she deleted the VOD on Twitch. Now, there is clips before that on the same stream. She's wearing the same outfit, playing the same game that someone has, and it's her, because originally she had this guy blocked and she unblocked him. She then proceeded to kind of talk shit to him, like nothing to what she experienced, but she was definitely giving it to him. And she kept saying that it was for the content, it was for being able to clip it, and this is what she actually said. And I mean, maybe I'm not like down with the latest in streaming, but do people like grief each other deliberately for content?
It depends on the vibe. Like, personally, I decline it because that gets wild pretty quickly, and that can cross a lot of lines very quickly. Some people are known to create rage bait, so they want to get that angry reaction, whether it's from another player or the viewer's reaction to the content. So it is a rather pursued thing, but it's not, in my opinion, I should say, it's not good. It's not good for any of the parties whatsoever, and it really serves to, as we were talking about before, desensitize people to the severity of the treatment that people actually receive.
Yeah. I feel I actually got a few messages about because I put up a post, and I think some people may have taken it a little bit wrong, because I said with all the discourse today, I wonder how many of the men who have retweeted that post would actually defend a woman and risk being called a simp or not like a man's man. I dare say if algorithms weren't at play here, some of you would be silent, as you always have been.
Yeah.
And that was me, linking that back to the clip that I put up about DreamHack, saying that, women can block, women can mute, women can, say, stop, women can stop playing these games. But however, the culture still exists. And that culture, the people that have the most power in that culture is the people, the perpetrators and their peers. So I think I was trying to hold them accountable and say, look, I'm doing what I can. I'm helping women voice their experiences in gaming on a podcast. That's what I'm doing. There's not much more I can do, because at the end of the day, I'll get told to, go back in the kitchen or whatever. But yeah, just people thought that I was like really upset with it's nearly 20,000 people have seen this tweet.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. I wish 20,000 people would see the podcast when I post that the podcast is live. That'd be great. But no, we don't.
No, we don't do that. Sorry.
No, that's not how algorithms work.
To be fair,
but no, I'm fine. I'm in my peace. I am comfortable with my values, and there's not. Yeah, that must be the 30-year-old showing,
Oh, honestly, I think you just hit a point where you just don't give a fuck. You're like, listen, you're being a shit. I know you're wrong. I'm not dealing with it anymore. Yeah. Like, I can definitely see, much like you guys, I've hit 30. That's a big number. And I can definitely see 30. It reflected. She can be if she wants. I'm not going to stop her. She's an old phone, Yay. But no, I can definitely see it reflected in my gameplay in League. Like, when I was younger, I was a rather fiery lady. I know, it's shock horror. Who would have thought? And oh boy, I gave it back to them just as good as I got. I was not having it. And I received some gender-specific threats a lot of the time, to the point where I put in to Riot, this is on League, I put in tickets like, hey, this person has threatened to do this to me, and I've called them a name back, and I have been chat restricted. This threat is genuinely concerning.
Harmful. Yeah.
And my response to that was, you're a fucking idiot. That was my response.
Yeah. You're the bad guy, right?
And it's like, you need to do, because like in their particular threat, the way they had worded it, there was no swearing. So it wasn't picked up. So then that's when I was like, okay, I'm putting in a ticket, and you can leave my chat restriction there. I don't care. But you need to do something about this, because this is not okay, and this is not the first time I've received this kind of threat on this game. So you're not blocking it. You're not doing anything to protect me as a player, which you're meant to do. Regardless of gender, you are meant to protect your players, and you don't. And nothing was ever done about it. And yeah, much like you were saying, you know, you get the kitchen jokes, you get the why are you even on a game, you get the really well thought out threats. Like, I've had times on stream before when people have realized I'm a woman, or I'm a streamer or something like that, and you can list play by play the way they insult you and try and break you down. And the worst bit is, I could tell my audience what was coming next. I'm like, oh, this didn't work, and I've said this, so they're going to respond this way. And the problem was, I was right. I should not be able to predict where that conversation is going when it's so full of abuse. That's not good. That's not healthy.
Oh, but you just need to block them and mute them straight away.
Oh my god, you do, right? And I love this.
It's all your fault.
But the trouble is, Riot doesn't stop you getting sorted with them in the next game. It doesn't stop it.
Yeah.
So you can block people, and they're going to be in your next game, and they're going to run it down because you're a woman. And you should have just thought about that before you decided to be a lady. Thank you.
And isn't that insane how that's the thing, though? That's like, it's always the person's fault on the other end. It's like, well, block them. Don't play that game anymore. You know, you don't. How much of this marketing is being put towards don't say those things. Don't do these things. Don't target people who are just trying to be in this community for fun. I'm tired. Like, I'm just tired. Like, we face this sort of issue in every single aspect of our lives, and it bleeds into the gaming community, a place where it's a bloody hobby. We're here for fun. We're here for friends. And these sorts of insults are still following us, and like, it's laughable as an adult. It's laughable when these sorts of stupid things come to mind, when they're so tacky and they're so gendered. Like, it's laughable, but like, their comments don't make me angry. It's more so the fact that it's still happening. And also, they're like tiny little worms beneath my feet. Like, I have no connection with these sorts of blokes in my real life. Like, I am surrounded by men who are feminists. I have men that do nothing but support myself and other women in every other aspect of the planet and the world and existence. And then there's these disgusting little worms that are in life, and they think it's funny, and it's just their insults mean nothing. They're stupid, they're dumb, that it doesn't matter. It's the fact that it is still gendered based. It is still coming for those points, especially in today's society where we're having especially in Australia, where we're having a domestic violence crisis, where I think the stat has surpassed 36 women this year have been killed by their partners in their own households.
In Australia, like, that's not even worldwide. That's just Australia.
It is just not it's just not okay that there's still these comments of these, most of the time, young men that are under 30. But that stat needs to be thrown out, because it's just blokes in general that keep attacking women in this space, and it's across everything. It is, but we've got such a discourse at the moment. It's just purely showing that some people do not care. Some people are going to forever be that sort of low blow abuser, and it's time that we pass the baton on to companies and organizations and institutions to get this working harder for us, so that we are safer and we feel okay in our communities and on our games. Because like, it's just, it goes without saying, it just needs to end. Like, it just, honestly, it needs to end. I'm just tired. Like, I'm tired about it all now. And it's so much constantly being thrown at you, whether it's in person, in your workplace, on the internet, friends discussions, like that's all that's being spoken about. And there's still people that choose to do this. You've had your warning, done and dusted. Bans. I think there should be stronger punishments. Yes. I think that there should be fines. I think there should be lifetime bans. I think there should be, we've got all the technology in the world now to throw it at them, stop their IP address creating multiple accounts. We can do it, so why aren't we? And it's just proving to these companies that they're being spineless and throwing just how women should be able to live their life into a political landscape when it's not. It is human rights. So it's just tiredness, and will it ever end? Who knows? But I think there just needs to be punishment now to the point where you can't come back from it. You can't be added into the next game because
I'm also really saddened. You guys touched on this a little bit earlier. I'm a firm believer that if you see something like this happening, you intervene. Now, keep in mind, this is very specifically in situations where you are not going to be putting at risk your own safety. Please keep this in mind, everybody. This is physical situations are your own choice. But in a situation in a game where you can see a woman getting absolutely freaking bullied, or anybody else, really, it doesn't even matter about gender. If you can see anybody just getting targeted and bullied, do something. Stand up, be like, "Oi, mate, nah, we're a team, we don't do that." It's something I do. I step in for my teammates, and I will continue to do it. Yes, sometimes it makes me a target. I don't care. That's not how we treat people. And it's especially not how we treat teammates. You're going for the same goal. What is wrong with you? There's banter, don't get me wrong. And there's sassiness, please, by all means. But the type of insults and comments that I am receiving daily and I am seeing daily, they are well past a little bit of fun sass or a little bit of cheeky banter. They are so far past the line that you don't see the line anymore, and I don't know that you ever saw it. So, yeah, I think Riot needs to do a much better job. And games in general.
Yeah. What you're describing is being an upstander, Shay. And this is actually referenced by the E-Safety Commissioner of Australia. This is an Australian website, which I would recommend everyone go to. They have a lot of resources on there to assist people who are in these situations. They'll also talk about trolling, catfishing, online hate, online gaming, all that kind of stuff. They'll also let you know about your rights. And they also have, you can contact them and email them if you are receiving this kind of abuse. So definitely check that out. I will.
Yeah, I was going to say, for anybody who's on the podcast and can't see the link,
I'll put it in the description.
Yeah, esafety.gov.au, and then a whole bunch of info there.
Yeah. So basically, if you choose to support someone who's being bullied online, you can choose to be an upstander. You have the right to feel safe doing that. And even if you don't feel like publicly doing it, you can even privately, DM them in a non-creepy way.
And reporting those people as well. Like, don't forget, you can report those guys afterwards. If you're super not comfortable with that kind of conflict, that's okay. Okay, like please don't put yourself in distress to do this. But please know that, like, you can support by reporting and all that kind of thing as well. Like, that genuinely does help. And I know that we like to be like, oh, reporting does nothing. But when an entire team reports you for hate speech, I'm sure it flags you.
Yes, definitely. And, even if you do take down that VOD or whatever, or block those people, there's logs of things that you can access as well. So the stuff is out there. You just, but I really hope something, hopefully positive, comes out of this, because I've seen a lot of my mutual followers, the people in my community being absolutely just torn down. And I think I got a couple of messages from people, and they were saying, oh, you should limit your account to only people you follow, like lock it down now. I'm like, honestly, I've always talked about this stuff. I've always talked about equality for women in gaming. So this doesn't actually scare me. at all. You can talk to me all day about it, and I will tell you the facts. And yeah, like, please don't come at me with this. Oh, well, just, don't play games. Don't go into those spaces. And it's like, well, where else?
I think we call that victim blaming. I think that's quite frowned upon. Like, I
yes.
could be wrong, but like, just maybe.
Yes, yes, you could call it that, most definitely. But if that was the case, like, there wouldn't be very many games left, would there?
You get single player, and even then, probably shouldn't go on any forums.
Feeling safe is a human right. And Ellie, you mentioned human rights before, and feeling safe in all aspects of life, and that is the reason why targeting people, bullying people, threatening people online is illegal. It is now,
what it is.
And it will continue to be.
It's harassment, and if you were to do that in person, there would be serious consequences.
And we have that for a reason. No, because they're absolute cowards. They're absolute cowards. They just sit behind a keyboard, behind a username that has nothing to do with their real life, and they say these things. And it's anyone from any walk of life, any sort of career. They just, I don't know, they just have pathetic little lives, and I think that just extends outwards, and they think, oh, I really schooled them, I feel great, and they're going to go to bed and, eat cardboard and then go and have horrible dreams because they're horrible people.
Why are they eating cardboard?
Because they're pathetic, and that's what pathetic people do. They eat
My
cardboard.
cats eat cardboard. They're nice.
Yeah, but that's different. Cats are demons incarnate, and they can eat what they want. But,
maybe they own it.
Exactly. And it's just, they're laughable losers. Like, if I even came across them in real life, like, I would eat them up with my words tenfold. But they just love taking people by surprise. Like, and it comes as like little micro, like, niggles as well. Like, they niggle at you. Like,
they're like, can I get this person? Like,
yeah. And like, even a few times on stream, like, there's such like a big field of what is appropriate and what's not appropriate. And I do understand that people are still learning. I've had people comment on my appearance before on stream, and I've got in my streaming rules, like, don't comment on my appearance. Like, I'm not here to like sit on a pedestal and you can compliment me all day. Like, I don't want that, unless I say, hey, does anyone like notice my haircut? That's an invitation where people can comment. But I don't want them coming into me and like, you look beautiful today, I love this about you today. Like, I personally don't want it. So I've written it in my rules. And someone says that, I'll outline that. And most of the time people are like, oh, no problem. I've never had an issue with them before. But I've had other people that come in and they're like, oh, do you have a boyfriend? Like, why on earth do you think that? And just out of context, if someone has not experienced this sort of thing before, if you are not a woman before and you have not experienced something like that before, it could be quite nonchalant. You could be like, maybe it's someone shooting their shot, which is weird in general. I'm streaming. How does that even make sense?
Like, I don't know you.
Those sorts of things are not compliments. It is so a deer in headlights moment that it just throws you off your whole game. And it's water off a duck's back now. It doesn't really bother me as much, especially because I ignore it most of the time. But when they continue to ask those certain questions, and people other than me say that's weird, and then I think it was the exact example that I can remember. They said, do you have a BF? And I ignored it. And someone in my chat said, that's weird, bro. Let's keep the conversation to the game. And they said, oh no, I'm asking if she plays Battlefield. Like, no, that is such a weird backpedal. Don't even try and pretend. It is so strange that it is just absolutely laughable. Like, I reckon that they've been in multiple streams and asked multiple people certain things. Like, there's such a limit on what is appropriate and what's not appropriate that people just need to start learning to get a clue and match social situations. And it's okay if people invite that sort of thing, but there's a vibe that people just need to pick up, and it's everyone's responsibility to pick up on those vibes. And it's gotten parts to the point, like, I am on team stronger punishments, because like I said, I'm just tired. I'm tired of it all. And there's a learning curve. Someone can say something like, oh, I don't really want that here, or please, look at the streaming rules, and they go, my mistake, I'm very sorry. That's okay. There's space for learning.
Like,
it's not cancel culture. Exactly. If you literally are there and you are learning things, this is not cancel culture. You have space to learn. It's okay. But there is a clear difference between somebody learning, someone pushing boundaries, and someone doing it because that they know that it is disgusting and wrong. And they're the cardboard eating pathetic losers. That they just need to wake up.
Just to clear that up.
Honestly, they need to wake up. But I just don't think that they're ever going to do that. And that's why they should just be, their IP addresses should just be banned or shadow banned for at least like 2 weeks. They can't comment. They can't say anything. Yeah. And I can see how it can be really hard to get across it. But people are screaming for jobs. Create a task team, get a cool office, fill it with computers, have a minibar full of Monster. They sponsor them. It's great.
But clearly outline morals and ethics.
A task force.
Like, oh my God.
Task force. Ladies Forever Protection Squad. Like,
League actually used to have human reviewers for a lot of the complaints. So they got rid of it. And now it's bots.
Yeah. Wow.
Which,
there you go.
To be for a majority of it, when it's just straight up swearing and it's whatever, cool, easy, no worries. But for some of the more intricately crafted insults and threats, you need a human. Like,
doesn't do it now though, because swear words are only half the problem. Swear words are so normalized in Aussie culture that half the time you say something that has nothing to do with the context of what they think it is. It's not working anymore. It is not working anymore. Like, review it. Why are we sorry, I said we as in society, but why is there this level of laziness when it could be worked? Like, we are genuinely in a crisis of people wanting to do more work, transitioning into technology. There's young people coming up from education, getting into these sorts of things. Like, people just need to start putting their money where their mouth is and protect people within their games. It's not cute and funny. It's not just get back in the kitchen anymore. Like, it needs to be stronger, and these people need to be punished, and they need to be like, oh, okay, so they're not playing around anymore. I can't just make 73 usernames for my IP address and annoy 5 sets of streamers. I reckon if we had Loser Fruit on here, which would be fantastic, Loser Fruit, if you're listening, I reckon that she would absolutely have stories from the trenches of the onslaught that she has to put up with, especially as a female esports gamer. And like we said, every woman has a story, and it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. And it shouldn't be, what were you wearing? It should not be that sort of conversation anymore. It's why wasn't I protected?
What were you playing? What did you say to them? It's like, I give a fuck.
None of that anymore. It's who is protecting me. That is the question. It is not any other question anymore.
I have made it my personal mission as a educator of young people in the community. I'm not sitting there, kind of TED talking them to death about, how boys and girls, have strengths and we should respect each other, blah, blah, blah. I literally put the girls next to the boys coding in Minecraft education.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, the baddie girls who are fantastic at debugging because they're patient and they're slow and they're methodical and they learn how to do it properly. I tell you what, little Brad in the back who is like, Minecraft, I know how to do that. I tell you what, he's up in her business and he's like, hey, how'd you do that? And she's like,
you do be learning.
Exactly. So it's like, I think it starts in that kind of culture.
Totally.
And it starts young. And then also extended into businesses. The thing is, they want more women to work, so things have to change.
Make an environment for us to be safe at work. Like, this stuff doesn't just stop at home or in games and stuff. Like, trust me, it extends. I'm really lucky to have 2 colleagues now that I work with in my team, both male, and I've never encountered a problem, but I have encountered blindness. So that is a trouble as well. That needs to, there needs to be a lot of education around a lot of things.
The context of blindness there, we are not insulting people with a disability.
Sorry. I mean, situational and discrimination blindness. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was just joking. Fine.
Yeah, or like, oh no, I don't think they meant it like that. And it's like, trust me, I've been around long enough to know exactly how that was meant. I can assure you. And
what's up your ass? Oh, he's just old.
Oh, no, I
No.
really love, oh, you've already brought up that idea 6 times and it was rejected or said that, like, it wasn't useful each time, but then a guy brought it up and all of a sudden it's amazing. Oh, no, they probably just, it wasn't meant like
Yes.
that. Oh, but it's continuously happening? Oh, no, it was an accident. Don't worry. Don't worry about it.
No. What's the police thing? Ignorance is not an excuse. I think
Yeah.
that's it just speaks volumes right there. It's like ignorance is not an excuse. And like
But
you
you get
said, majority
about
of the time, it's not even bloody ignorance. It's clearly playing dumb, knowing that they've had these issues and doing these naughty things and still wanting to do it because, cardboard eating losers.
I think we're so used to instant fixes as well. Like this kind of thing happens over generations.
Yes.
And I think Gen Y, Gen Z have been very vocal about their struggles with mental illness and things like that. They're really spearheading, the LGBTQI plus community. They're ensuring that, they're all represented and all listened to, and, hopefully this can extend further. And there is a lot of pushback because, everyone's of a different time, a different age, and it just, like, it sucks, but, growing sometimes hurts. Learning is hard. Okay. Learning hurts, just like when you're growing your muscles, it hurts in the gym. When you're growing your brain, you're growing your emotional intelligence, it hurts as well. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to think about it. And that's where that kind of deliberate naivety comes in. It's, but not here at Confessions of a Gamer Girl. And we
try not to.
And like, I don't think anyone is innocent. Like, I'm not here saying like all men are like this and men are trash, and not one of us have said that. But we all have men in our lives who are supportive, and we have men in our lives who are less than human, really.
I think the best way I've heard it summed up, and this is really sad. So obviously we continuously hear the phrase "not every man," and it's applied in a lot of different contexts. So sure, not all men, all women though.
I know.
We all have a story.
I put it in my TikTok.
Exactly. Most of the time, it's a lot more than one story too, I can assure you. So yes, we can definitely focus on the fact that it's not every man ever, and dear God, I hope not. But the alarming fact is it still is every woman, and that's just not good enough.
I looked at my daughters this morning. They play video games. They're not in the online space, but I have my 7-year-old. She's showing me what she built in Minecraft and all these triggers that she's created, these houses, and just she asks my opinion on things, and just she really has a great time in that world. I've got my 5-year-old who's learning how to solve puzzles by herself finally in games. She's learning about progression and resilience in video games, and working together with her sister in couch co-op games.
Games are fantastic for resilience. Like, that's a key skill to being a human.
For sure. But you know what? I thought, putting those two things together, my children and the way that women are treated in the community, and it made me afraid.
It would do. And knowing that they can experience these sorts of things going forward.
Yeah.
And
they have no clue too. At the age they are, they wouldn't even be thinking of it as a gendered thing. They just go, I want to play Minecraft. It's fun. Mum taught me how to do it.
Yeah.
That's all it would be.
And I've never forced my children to play video games. It's just something that has happened. And I never want them to feel unsafe ever. And I don't want any person to feel unsafe. I don't want you to feel unsafe for speaking your mind in a healthy and positive way. I don't want anyone to feel unsafe because they're passionate about something and they're expressing that passion or sharing those ideas and their learnings, or if they're trying to learn. Like, that is all fine. What is not fine is ongoing, targeted harassment of people in gaming. And, this current situation that we have spoken about, yes, it involves a woman being targeted and a man doing the targeting, and it has got to stop. And we here at Confessions of a Gamer Girl will do everything we can to assist in the stamping out this kind of behavior. It's not okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I definitely back that up with saying, like, if there's anyone sort of wondering, like, well, what can I do? How can I help? Especially if they're men. I think it's, at this point, hypervigilance. I think it's supporting people that you know that might be in a vulnerable position, which is the streamers that you watch or anyone kind of thrust into the spotlight that is a woman specifically. I think it's being hypervigilant or stopping that behavior from other users. It's stopping that behavior from within your friendship group, because standing up to your friends can be absolutely the hardest thing that there is. It's so much harder than standing up to strangers. And I think there's learning in yourself. Like there might be something that you've kind of reflected on. You need to look inside and be like, actually, you know what I've been saying might be hurtful. You know, what I've been doing is actually not okay anymore. And like we said previously, it does not have to be cancel culture if you were there to learn and to better yourself and be a better person within this gaming community. It doesn't matter if you're like, oh, you know, I kind of has said something that now I'm not feeling too good about in this landscape. I didn't realize. I'm now going to improve going forward about how I say and how I present myself to the gaming community. And that's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Like, and it's standing up for if there is malpractice within everything, even though it can be quite scary. If it's your friends, if it's someone that you've had a long time follower, it is okay to say, hey, let's not say that about XYZ, or maybe just don't say that ever. Like depending on the context of the comment. Yeah, well, it can be like,
don't joke about, you know, rapping someone, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe just don't.
Yeah, there's like certain contexts that just don't say it. Just don't say it at all. And it gets to the point where it's ridiculous. Because you could probably direct that to your pillow if you really have to say it. Have you got a diary? Write it down. If
maybe
you have
seek
to
out
get it
some
outside
therapy.
of your head,
maybe go to a therapist.
Yeah. Like where's that anger stemming from, and why are you aiming it at people?
Exactly.
Thank you.
It's just we're really at the peak of everything now, and it is absolutely crunch time, and everybody has a role. Absolutely everybody has a role right now.
And like, don't be afraid to ask women or femme presenting people around you about their experiences. Like, you might be absolutely removed from all this kind of thing. Genuinely, it's been normalized around you. You yourself have never experienced it aimed at you, and you're just like, I've heard it happens. I've never seen it. Cool, no worries. That's all right. The fact is, you're trying to. You want to understand. So talk to the women around you. You know, this podcast can help. Obviously, you're very free to ask us questions. Like, oh boy, we've got stories. But educate yourself, because at first you might not recognize issues properly if you've not been the target. It is what it is. It can be the same for things like racism. If you have never had that aimed at you, you might actually have difficulty identifying when somebody is being inappropriate in that way. So that's why you ask questions and you learn and you try and understand, because you don't want to add to that. The world is already shitty enough. Don't make it worse.
Yeah. Exactly. Do not make it worse.
I also just finally want to reiterate that we are not by any means, as femme presenting women, we are not encouraging men to become feminine at all. Having honor and respect for other people is not a feminine trait.
It's not weakness to respect people.
It is a humane trait. And do you know what? If you really want us to tell you how we feel about men who, you know, stick up for people in public, it's hot as fuck.
Yeah.
On that note, that brings us to the end of episode 11 of Confessions of a Gamer Girl podcast. Thank you so much to our beautiful chat. I've probably done the most comment highlighting ever. So if you are listening on Spotify, please go and check out our YouTube as well. There was some really funny and interesting and relevant comments that have popped up. And yeah, important topics, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me. These conversations can be difficult, but I'm glad I could do it with you guys.
Totally.
Check out our content and our links down below, and we will see you all next week for another episode of Confessions of a Gamer Girl podcast. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.